Hello there. I'm Scotty, and you're not. And let's talk about Rings. Third film in the American Ring trilogy, film series, whatever. It came out 2017, and I still think it's better than The Ring 2. And I've heard that people think that some of the things in this movie retcon the second film, like certain the backstory of Evelyn and Samara, and I don't really see it. I mean, you could take it one way, but so the film tells of what the fuck is her name? Julia, who has a boyfriend named Holt, and he goes to college, but then after a while he stops talking to her, so she goes to figure out what it is. Finds out he's involved in a secret experiment from a college professor played by Johnny Galecki, Leonard from The Big Bang Theory. And so she watches the video to be his tail so that he doesn't die. And so they decide, we have to get her a tail, but the video that she watches is different for some reason, and now they can't do that. And so now they go on a journey to find information, stuff that was in the extra stuff in the video, to connect and find a way to stop Samara. So they basically put stuff from each things, like going on a journey to find out information. That's in the first two movies. What happens at the end is kind of what happened to Aiden in the second film. The whole someone doing experiments, that's the Rings short film, which is why, they mentioned Tales, and they even mentioned stuff about trying to figure out what happens after you die, which was what they were trying to do in the Rings short film. So, yeah. As far as the actors go, I like Johnny Galecki, and I like the main two, was Alex Rowe and Matilda Lutz. I think they're okay. This film starts with Matt from Vampire Diaries on a plane, and Samara shows up and takes down the whole plane because two people on there have seen the tape, and I am very confused. Because this guy, he's talking to this one girl, Matt, whatever. His name's not Matt in here, but Matt from Vampire Diaries talking to one girl. Have you ever heard of the tape that kills you when you watch it? You get 7 days. Another girl overhears him, and when he goes to the back, she follows and goes, Did you make a copy? Did you make a copy? I watched it too, and I'm like, so did she make a copy, or did they both watch it? How did they both watch it? I don't understand that, because it's always one at a time, right? Because you have to create a tale. So how could they both have watched it and still be, or was she a couple of takes before him, and now she's stuck on the plane with it? She escaped, so that's a little sucky. I don't know. They don't explain it. The plane just gets taken down, and you saw this scene in the trailers, and you thought it was going to mean something. No, it's not. No. Not at all. Then we cut to 2013, and we have Gabriel, played by Leonard from The Big Bang Theory, Johnny Galecki. He finds the guy's VCR with the tape still in it. I would leave it in the VCR, but he finds it, he buys the VCR, and he watches the tape. Now, one thing that's confusing is the time frame. So, they're told at this garage sale that all this stuff was from a guy who died in a plane crash a couple years earlier. So, it's been 2 years since the plane crash from the beginning of the film. And I'm assuming it's 2 more years. It has to be. Because Gabriel watches the tape, and then it cuts to our two main characters. And by this point, Gabriel has an entire uh, group doing experiments. I'm assuming he's been doing this for a long time, so I'm assuming it's been at least another 2 years to 2017, maybe even 2016. That these movies supposed to come out in 2016, but I don't know. I'm just saying. But the big confusion is, how did he know to copy it? Make a copy. And if it was 2 years, why did he wait 2 years to show his girlfriend? Now, admittedly, maybe it wasn't 2 years. Maybe this is 2015 because it's supposed to come out in 2016. It was pushed back to January, February of the next year. So, what if this was supposed to be, you know, 2015, and this was just a few months later, and he used the internet to figure out, oh, I'll have to make a tape. I have 7 days otherwise. I'm gonna die. So he does it, he makes a copy, does that, and he starts his experiment. It's been a few months. Okay, sure. So, like I said, Julia tries to get in contact with Holt. She can't, so she shows up at the college, and she follows the professor down to a secret laboratory using a key that she just so happened to find on Holt's bedroom floor. And it's there that she sees what's going on, and she follows Sky out. That's the girlfriend, and Sky tries to show her the tape, but she's told not to watch. And Samara shows up and kills her. And then she watches the video. It's on a computer now. That's the tape. It's a QuickTime file. She copies it and watches it from Holt's computer when they reconnect. And so now she has it. But what happens, she picks up the phone, and he has a regular phone there for some reason. You know, there's cell phones now. He has a landline, and it burns her hand, or something on her hand. And then when I try to do the copy, it seems to be ramped up for her. When I try to copy it again, they can't do it because the file size is bigger. And the other one, bigger than the rest of them. So they start to look at, there's different images that show church and stuff like that. It leads them to Sacramento Valley, or whatever it's called, and they start to investigate what happened. They try to find where the body is, but the body's not there. So apparently, after the events of the first film, the body was taken to the island. They didn't want it, so it was taken back here where Evelyn was from. Just wait, this is Evelyn. No, this is Samara's body, right? They're looking for Samara's body. Not Evelyn, Samara, right? I'm assuming? No, it's Evelyn. No, because she burns the bone, so it is Samara's body. So they take Samara's body back here. Apparently? I don't know. This is where the retcon comes in, because they find out there's this blind man named Burke. It ends up being that he used to be a priest, and he is actually Samara's real father, and that he kept Evelyn locked up in a church basement for 8 months. And so that's when they say, oh, it's retcon because they said she showed up at the one church. What if she got away from Burke and she ran to that church monastery thing from the second film, still pregnant, and then gave birth shortly afterwards? Not exactly retconning, just adding to the story. This she was trying to escape. And they said that there was no father in sight, but then she didn't mention a father because, well, he was a dickbag. It's not retconning, it's just adding to it, you know? But Burke reveals that he's not blind because of any accident. He did it himself so that he didn't have to see Samara when she came after him. I guess. Yeah, it's a weird thing. They had cicadas in this, even though it was flies before. I don't know. But she's able to escape from Burke. Burke is killed by Samara, and then she burns Samara's bones, and it gets all over. I should mention, earlier in the film, there is a point where it is, I don't know why they did it like this, but earlier in the film, Gabriel finds out what the thing on her hand is, the mark is. He calls Holt and he says it's Braille. Now, to me, this gives away that Burke is a bad guy. Because why would it be Braille? Unless you can think, oh, Burke's gonna read it, and he's gonna be like, but he's already read it because he touched her hand. He's like, what's that mark? What's that? He already knows what it says. So, no, there's no other course as to him being a bad guy. But we're supposed to believe. We're not supposed to figure it out until Holt figures it out, sees the picture on the wall, and goes, Burke. But when they say it's Braille, it kind of figures it out. And Gabriel dies on his way there. It's a car accident because Samara causes the car accident, I guess. And a power transformer thing falls on him. He dies. So at the end of this, after everything's done, Holt, she goes to take a shower, and Holt finally checks his phone days after. You think he would have checked his phone before that, even before he got back? But he checks his phone, and he finally reads the message. But here's the thing. When Gabriel calls him, he goes, hey, this is really important. What's on her hand is Braille. Call me back. Why not just say what it says in the phone call? I hate that when someone's like, hey man, it's me. Got something important to tell you, just call me back. Just tell me what you want to tell me on the phone message, man. If you have a question for me, I just wanted to ask you, blah, 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 blah. Let me know what the answer is, call me back. Okay, easy. Hey man, I got something to ask you, call me back. Ask me the question in the message. And somebody goes, hey man, I got a question for you, call me back. Tell me in the message. Ask me the question, I can call you and answer back. So, or something, you know? But yeah. She's in the shower, she starts to decipher Braille, and then the computer starts to get taken over somehow. And it starts to send multiple copies of the video to people in Julia's email address book. And he tries to unplug it, it doesn't work. And then Julia's in the bathroom and she starts to pull a big old hair out. And then there's a hair wad and out comes a cicada, even though that was never a thing. And then the Braille finishes and it says rebirth, which, did you know in Japan this is called the ring rebirth? And he yells for Julia, and she wipes the mirror, and her face is no longer in the mirror, it's Samara's face, and the movie ends. Now, I, for one, think that them, like the whole rebirth thing, should have been a main plot line, not at the end of the film, not a twist at the end of the film. I think that they should have been made aware of the rebirth angle from the beginning, and were trying to stop it, and thought burning her bones would stop it, but it didn't, and it still worked. I don't know. They could have done that in the entire film. Like I said, it's kind of like putting the first two rings together with the Rings short film, kind of combining. You got the possession like with Aiden. You got the trying to figure out stuff like in the first two. You got backstory from Evelyn like in the second one. Watch the tape, but it's a little better than the second one. It actually delves into the tape and everything. It feels like a Ring movie. The other one was just like has two characters from the Ring and just something else. But I will say it's a middle of the road movie for me. It's not a really good movie, but it's middle of the road. Watch that before I watch The Ring 2. And if they say this is retconning Ring 2, then you can just watch the first one and this one. This could be a requel. This could actually take place right after the first one. Years later, though. Who knows? But you know, I thought that'd actually be cool if this was a direct sequel to The Ring. And you see, like, Rachel give the videotape to someone, and then whoever this is, she gave the videotape to, gives it to Gabriel, and he starts to investigate and try to figure out what's going on, you know? And what if one of the students is Eddie, and that connects to rings, and this is like a midquel, requel thing that connects to the ring too? Ooh. It would probably be better than Jeepers Creepers 3, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's middle of the road. I don't really recommend it, but I recommend it over the Ring 2. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on Rings? If you know, comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, I'm going to do it. The next Sequel-A-Thon review is going to be on a sequel I'm pretty sure you all been waiting for since I started this. It's a very infamous sequel of a 90s comic book film starring a great 90s actor who had 3 different hit films come out the same year that movie came out. And this movie is a long-awaited sequel to that movie, where like someone in a Nintendo Power magazine was guaranteed a part in that sequel, but this took so long they never got that. And this is the sequel that's very infamous for recasting its lead with a new character and being total bomb. And if you haven't figured out what it is, well, then you'll never figure it out. But thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.